What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to Donald's Trumpets Vintage Horns. I'm Jonathan. My dad Donald left me a lot of really cool horns. So I decided in his honor to catalog them on this channel. So if you like vintage horns, or if you're interested in watching me grow as a trumpet player, which probably not that much, but if you're interested in vintage horns, definitely you're gonna wanna subscribe. So hit that button, smash it, whatever you do. So a little bit about myself. I've been playing now for coming up on 5 months, ever since I got this batch of trumpets, cornets, mellophoniums, euphoniums, on and oniums. So, you know, when you hear these things, it's not really going to its full potential. It's going to my full potential at this point in time. But let's jump into it. This is a really, really cool vintage cornet. Not as old as some of the other ones I have in the collection for sure, but this is from 1960. Ooh, is that shiny? Because that looks pretty shiny to me. But yeah, from 1960, in immaculate condition. I mean, I think this thing is just phenomenal. The lacquer is, you'll hear this or read this a lot in advertisements for used horns. Lacquer is 80%. 90%, blah, blah, blah. Are they really measuring the surface area? I doubt it. But for this one, the lacquer is pretty good. There's a few blemishes here and there, and I think that's the best way to describe it. It looks like the lacquer is intact for the most part, everywhere though. But as I mentioned, there's a blemish right there, and there's a small, it looks like a rub almost. Oh, there we go. So right there is a blemish on it as well. But you know, on the places where you would expect to see it on the valve block, etc. No, it looks pretty good. Let's do the pop. Not as poppy as I would have liked it to have been, honestly. And that's what's cool about this channel, by the way, is I'm just going live off the cuff. I have a little bit of an idea of what I'm talking about, but you're not gonna see a lot of rehearsed, polished stuff up front. So, including being able to put the second valve slide back in. So there we go on that one. Decent compression on that one at least. Let's see this guy here. It's like a boop. So I don't know if that's a pop or a poop. So either way, yeah, so I definitely could use some valve slides or valve slide grease on there. The actual valves themselves, the pistons, are in great condition. And look at this, it's got these silver valve caps on there. Yeah, so the valves, yeah, pretty good. Got some wear to them, a little bit of evidence of use, but nothing major. And that's gonna be like that on all 3 of these. So you might be wondering, well, actually you're not wondering because you read the title of this video, I assume. But this is a Boosey Hawkes Regent cornet. So Boosey Hawkes, in case you made it this far and you're wondering. So what is Boosey Hawkes? Well, it's a British company. So in the American vintage trumpet world, there were not a lot of these, I think, in the United States, but that doesn't mean there weren't a gazillion of these that they produced. So Boosey Hawkes, when they merged, it used to be, I think, Boosey and Company. They merged with Hawkes and Son way back when, I think early 1900s. They eventually came up with this mass-produced, I guess you would consider it a student model. And here we go, Regent. So, but I will say this, mass-produced does not mean bad. That's one thing is that, and again, I am pretty amateur to the trumpet up to this point, but I'm starting to learn the differences in the timbre and the way that the trumpet slots from note to note, etc. And yeah, for a student model, a lot of times there's not a lot of differences compared to a professional horn. For example, I did notice some differences, like in little minor details, like the valve caps, screwing them on. I put some oil in this one, and I put some oil in the Martin Committee cornet, and the Martin Committee just felt like it was just gliding on there. That definitely felt a lot different. But you know, as far as the sounds, again, you're going to have some really nice branded or nice models of trumpets that don't sound that good, and then you'll have some that are the lower end that sound phenomenal. Look, you know, the Olds Ambassador is a great example of that. Student horn, but you get some of the earlier models and they play just as well as a professional horn, and you know, some of the jazz greats, they use that exclusively. So let's give this one a whirl And as I'd mentioned, and I'll keep mentioning, I'm a novice, and if there's one thing that I would like people to grab off of this channel, is that you can really do anything you put your mind to. Obviously, it's a lot easier if you have a bunch of trumpets to play on, but it's been such a great journey. Learning the trumpet is fun, and I used to always be against it. I mean, my dad played every day of my life, and I never picked it up, other than to pawn a few of them here and there. Sorry, Dad. But yeah, so here I am now, though, learning this trumpet, and I would say learn on a vintage horn. It's so cool because they're so unique. They're way cheaper a lot of times than newer trumpets, and a lot of times they're going to be in better quality. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, you definitely need to. You've made it this far in the video. So definitely go with that. I'd say let's go together. Let's learn on these things. And if it's something you've always been wanting to do it. Go get a trumpet. It doesn't have to be one of mine, but let's do it. Okay, so I'm playing on a Dennis Wick London. Oh, go figure. And this is a G mouthpiece. So these are a little deeper, I think, on the cups, and definitely has a lower sound. And that's what I wanted to demonstrate too, is that same horn, you're gonna get two completely different sounds. I'm gonna also play on this Rudy Muck cushion rim. This is a size 11M, and this is definitely easier to hit high notes with. But yeah, let's hear the difference on both of them. So that's on the Dennis Wick. Let's hear it on here. Just Rudy Muck. Wow. So yeah, you can tell the difference. And hey, wouldn't it be cool to just be able to sit around in your house and jam on a horn? Just play some tunes that you hear in your head. If you like singing in the shower, singing in the rain, not the music, because the music sucks, but if you like doing stuff like that, grab yourself a cornet or a trumpet. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it really is, and it doesn't take a lot of effort to do it. Okay, so let's hear it on the Martin Committee cornet. I'm going to start on this Rudy Muck because that's what we stopped on. Let's hear the difference here. Oh yeah, see, Martin sucks. Or maybe it's Jonathan. So it slots a lot differently, definitely looser in between notes. But hey, we don't make mistakes here, we make jazz, right? And we'll hop over the old Dennis here. Let's do it up. We're coming to an end. Thanks for making it this far. Hopefully you're learning something, and make sure to put some comments in the section below. I'd love to know what you think, and I need suggestions and pointers too, because this is new, right? So we're at the very beginning stages, so definitely throw your advice out there. Remember, we don't make mistakes, we make jazz. what do you think of this Boosey and Hawkes? You like it better than Martin? You like the Martin better than the Boosey? Why? Because of the sound? Because of the allure? The legend? Tell me. You thought I was going to end on a high note? Make sure to subscribe. Thanks again.